The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Discretion is advised.
All together now. All together now. All together now. I went to see Love, the Beatles, this weekend with my son and his friends.
Wait.
So
The Beatles are back?
Yes. So I've been singing Beatle tunes
Holy
ever
shit,
since.
dude.
Welcome to the program, Rareform Radio.
North Hollywood, California. Okay.
I wasn't going to say it, and you fucking ruined it. So now, welcome to the program here in, where are we again? North Hollywood, California. Rareform Radio.
Yep.
A special, this will go out tonight, right? When we're done.
Yeah.
So I had to cancel last week due to my family taking priority over this shit.
Well, the best part is that he called me and he's like, dude, I have to cancel. He goes, and here's the best part. I knew about this 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I admit it. I openly admit it. I was like, I knew that I wouldn't be able to come in tonight weeks ago, and I just totally
And here's the thing.
franked.
You can't argue with someone who's just like,
Yeah.
I fucked up. It's like,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I was not I wasn't dishing off. I wasn't laying blame. I totally took responsibility. The reason why last Thursday, it was my son's birthday, and I had a whole fucking thing planned, and then my wife got fucking super sick.
Oh,
so
no.
it was all on me.
Oh.
Because usually she does all of the... I just come and hang out and don't really talk to anybody, but I had to like entertain because it wasn't like a kids party. It was like a bunch of, our friends and adults and all that. So anyway.
We were floating the
Nice.
idea of doing the show, and then when I saw him calling, I'm like, oh, we're not doing the show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd just
You
text.
answered like, what is
What
it
is
now?
it?
We're not doing
Let me
it,
guess.
are we?
Let me guess.
Let me guess.
Nice.
We're not
So
doing
anyway,
it.
you guys
Right
get
now.
2 shows this week.
Yeah, so we'll do another
Fun
one in a
stuff.
couple of days. But how are you, Dan?
I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
A weird couple days,
Yeah.
but good. We have friends in town, and it's really fun. I love them very much. But they have 2 children, and in the last 4 days, we've been to Universal Studios twice, the LA Zoo, the Santa Monica Pier.
Ugh.
Yeah, but
Ugh.
Universal has been
tourists.
fun. We were there today on the holiday, and that was not great.
It was packed.
I imagine.
Yeah,
At least it's right around the corner from you guys.
true.
Yeah, I just came back from Vegas. I was in Vegas all weekend with 3 14-year-old boys.
Wow.
Do you want to say that on the air? Is something you want to tell us?
We got a suite, me and the boys.
And they're all pregnant.
Yeah,
Jeez.
14-year-old boys. It just
Oh, boy.
in today's
It's so
fucking
gross.
day and age, it just sounds
It's
disgusting.
That should be a band name.
14-year-old boys. My son should be in a band called
He really
14-year-old boys.
should.
No, we went. He wanted to go to Vegas.
Mhm.
Actually, that's not true. He wanted to go to New York with a couple of friends, and I'm like, first of all, we go often. You've been there, you've seen it. It's gonna be cold. 2 days are shot of travel. Like
This is not the time to go.
Yeah, this is
Right,
not the time to
right.
go. And also, I'm not footing the bill for 2 fucking other pains in the asses that I'm not related to. New York is expensive. Not that Vegas isn't.
Well,
but,
New York
Right.
prices and Vegas prices are way
Yeah.
different.
But so I was like, look, why don't we go there? I'll take you to a show. We can ride around in a limo. Like, and he's never been there, so that's what we did. He took 2 of his
Nice.
friends. We had a great time. I'm hungover from it emotionally. Because it's it's
Right.
14-year-olds and they're like beating each other up in the room and wrestling and fucking going nuts. But they had a great time. So I'm like,
Good dad.
That's great.
I get my fatherly points.
Good
You
job.
were telling me some horror stories before the show, but it was a long story. But let's just say that there was some funny shit that happened.
Yeah, there was definitely
Real Todd shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think I can go into the whole.
Can I just say one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it was supposed to be a birthday party for his son,
Mm-hmm.
and Todd and his wife are great planners, and there was supposed to be a room full of balloons.
Hmm.
And the
Like
maid,
when we get there,
Right.
it's supposed to be all
Okay.
decked
so
out.
the day after, the maid brings a trash bag full of blown up balloons, knocks on the boys' doors, and leaves it with them. As like, here's your balloons.
Yeah, but
Wow.
let me explain a little more.
Oh.
So it was supposed to be all decked out,
All right.
And I won't out the place that we were staying at because the people that ended up helping me out.
It was Frontier or whatever.
We're very
Tangier.
we're very the Tangiers, yeah. We'll call it the Tangiers for now.
Uh-huh.
But So we get in there, and there's just like, I wanted to give my son the experience, you know?
Right.
So, like, there was supposed to be a limo driver at the airport with the sign and the whole 9 yards. The guy's fucking 30 minutes late. We ended up getting our own bags, and he was unapologetic about it. Like, hey, man, there's fucking traffic. What do you want me to do? I'm like, fuck, get in the fucking driver's seat, motherfucker. Like, I'm just annoyed.
Right.
And, you know, I won't go through everything that I told you, but it was like little incident after little incident. And look, that's supposed to be the type of town where if you're paying for it, you get that treatment.
Right.
Perfectly.
Well, I'm paying for it, and I'm not getting that treatment. And I hate to be like that, but it's the truth. Like, I shelled out some money for this kid.
For sure.
So it was like incident after incident is happening. The fucking room service orders are wrong. It's taken 2 hours to get shit served. I got this huge suite within the connecting room, and the boys are there. They have no idea all the turmoil that I'm having. So, but I'm trying not to show it in front of them so that, you know, they have a good time. But we're supposed to be VIP. The package that we bought says VIP.
Okay.
So I call my wife the next morning. She's like, take a picture with the boys, like with the room all set up with the balloons. I'm like, what balloons? I didn't even know that they were supposed to be there. Yeah. Because, you know, through my wife's work, they use a travel agent that's like a fucking hotshot Hollywood. You know, they know how to hook everything up.
Right.
Virtuoso member, you know, all that kind of crap. And so she's like, what? And I'm like, what are you talking about, balloons? I'm like, the room's nice. It's fine. And like a half hour later, I put all the boys in one room.
Okay.
And put the do not disturb on their room so they could sleep because I knew we were going to have a long night, and I didn't want them conking out at the end of the night. And their do not disturb is on, and
oh, wow.
I fucking start to run over there because I'm in a suite on the other side in the room, and the boys all get up. And there's literally, I showed Dan the picture. I'll show it to you later.
It's
a
so
garbage
pathetic.
bag.
Are you
of
kidding me?
balloons blown up in the garbage bag, and it's handed to the boys. And then there's supposed to be
basically like, happy birthday, you little shit.
Yeah. So finally, I tell the lady, I'm like, well, this is a little fucking after the fact, don't you think? And she doesn't know. They just told her to bring them up there. So she leaves, and she's like, oh, this comes with it, and it's a complimentary box of chocolate.
This is the best part.
Yeah, from the hotel with the logo embroidered on the box and fine chocolates.
All right.
I open the box, and there's fucking a chocolate missing.
There's four quadrants, and each
my
chocolate has its own
God.
cutout, vacuum sealed spot,
There's
or vacuum
one
formed, and there's
missing.
one missing.
Wow.
So like I had to go down and I'm like, look, I am not a fucking pain in the ass. I'm not trying to get any free shit out of you. I'm not trying to get comps. I know you guys deal with that all day long.
For sure.
I'm like, but I took a video of opening the box.
The unboxing of
and
man.
the person who's taking care, like I had to ask for like a manager.
Okay.
And they come out and she was lovely and she was mortified. She's like, you have to send me those so I can send them up the chain. You know?
Right,
I'm like, okay.
right.
And she's like, oh my God. Because like, who opened it and took one out? Was it someone who worked there? Was it some laying out somewhere and some other hotel guests put their hand in it and took it out? I'm like, well, we're obviously not going to eat them. But then they made up for it in the end. And it was a fucking great trip. And the boys had a blast.
That's awesome.
And I took them to a show. And we went to go see the Beatles thing, which incidentally, Dave sent me a link today. The next day, the day after that we went, one of the performers fell.
Oh.
And they had to stop the show and rush him to the hospital. Like he was swinging on some fucking
that would have been the
rope.
best.
And I was like, so I texted my son. I'm like, dude, I texted him the article. I'm like, we missed it by a day. And he writes back, damn, that would have been awesome.
Oh my God.
Definitely your kid.
Yeah. So apparently the guy is it's not life threatening.
Good.
He just broke every vertebrae in his body because those people, I gotta say, it's
I've seen that show.
impressive.
Yeah. I've been to that.
The acrobatics they do, and they're like fucking jumping on trampolines. Like it's crazy, the shit. And it's all timing.
Right,
you know?
yeah,
So
for sure.
you could see how someone could get fucked up. And it's funny too, because we're sitting there and I'm thinking that, what the fuck
was that?
What was that?
That was
What's that?
something
No.
in Frank's body just did that.
I thought it was something on the computer or
Are
something.
you a robot?
Not
I
last
think it
time
was
I
coming.
checked.
I
But
think it was something coming from his cock.
It's cool. Oh my god, that clip is so good.
So yeah, I was sitting there and I'm thinking in my head, like, I wonder if any of these guys ever fuck up, and because I did see one guy mistime something, and he just like kind of bounced off and played it off, and then got back
Right.
into the rotation. But I was like, I wonder if these guys ever get fucked up. I mean, I know they train like mad to do this perfectly.
Right.
But I was thinking that thought, and then the very next day, someone got fucked up.
Can you imagine the early days of being an acrobat?
Mhm.
Like as
An
you're learning,
acupuncturist?
right? As you're learning to be an acrobat, you must just get destroyed.
Yeah.
No.
Must take years to even
know.
be
Like-
passable.
Well, wasn't there that one guy in, I think it was 60s or the 70s, and it was like a famous high rise, like tightrope walker.
The
and
high
it was-
wire.
The
Yeah.
high wire. And it was like the first time they were going to live televise this thing. It was like 70, and the poor guy ended up falling off of the.
No, I don't know, but I need
Really?
to see
No,
that.
it was like,
Oh,
I think it was,
Darwin.
I think it was on Faces of Death.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think it was one of them.
Did you ever
I'm not
see
laughing
that-
because the guy died,
Did you ever
but-
see that film? Is it High Wire?
Man on Wire.
Man on a Wire with Gordon
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Levitt. Yeah. Who, by the way, if you take a picture of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, for those fans of Ink Master out there, if you take a picture of Joseph Gordon-Levitt
JGL.
and put it next to Oliver Peck's picture,
Are
they're
they
the same
close?
fucking person.
Really?
Go look at them both smile. I actually made a side by side once and sent it to Oliver, and I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
"Notice how you never see these two guys in the same
Interesting.
room." Yeah,
Interesting.
it's a little game you can play.
That's
anyway,
fun.
that movie, I guess it was in the 70s that
Mm.
he walked across the Twin Towers. If you go on YouTube, there's some great correlations about that being he's Marty McFly. He's wearing the same clothes. He's wearing the same maroon shirt.
Really?
Like, there's a bunch of conspiracy vids that it has something to do with. It's a future premonition of Back to the Future and the Twin Towers going down, and
Ooh,
like
I
you know
love
how
this. Of
there's
course,
that
of
one that
course.
we've watched a million times where it's predicting 9/11, but apparently this film is that.
Wow.
But if you go on YouTube,
That's wild.
I'll text you the link later. I'm sure it's easy to find. But
Remember
yeah,
that thing I sent you about that movie Snowpiercer?
yeah, that thing's great about it being a sequel to
To Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, yeah, and it makes sense if you really.
Did I send you this video?
No, no.
I'll send you afterwards. But
And isn't
there's
that
this.
um,
That's the guy that
Bong
won.
Joon-ho? Yeah, the guy who swept the Oscars, and I was so fucking happy that he did.
How crazy was that?
That movie was fucking amazing.
It wasn't. But
It was.
It
It was
wasn't.
amazing.
It's good.
That movie's amazing. Who else is cranking out movies like that right now?
I mean, a lot of people. I just don't think it was that good. It was fun.
Yeah, I know.
It
I
looked
get that you don't
great.
think it was that good because you have no taste whatsoever.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
you might have a point. My favorite movie is Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo.
Yeah, there you go. That and the
Two.
that and the Roadhouse.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Although
Well,
I can
come
get
on.
behind Roadhouse.
Yeah.
No,
No, but
I
that-
was
it was-
glad that he won.
The first foreign film to ever win Best Picture.
Yeah.
No.
And Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Picture, and what else?
Best Picture, he won 4. So best screenplay, best director, best picture, best foreign picture, best international
Was it?
picture they call
Wow.
it. Yeah.
See,
Which everyone was up in arms like, if they gave it to him for the international, why give him best picture?
because
Or
it's right.
if it's not in English, why is it best? And it's like, because it is. It just is. Just shut the fuck up.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
And here's the thing. It was not my favorite movie. There was 2 other movies I thought were better,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was
What were they?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and
Uh-huh.
Joker. Joker was my pick to be the winner.
I love Joker. We've obviously talked about that. I knew it didn't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning.
You didn't think
I
it
knew
had a
that,
chance?
I knew that Joaquin would win Best
Slam
Actor,
dunk, right.
but I didn't think it had a chance.
Right. Yeah.
But I was pulling for Parasite from the second I saw it. I saw it like 6 times.
You did?
Wow.
I thought
Well, here's the thing. Like I was trying to say, like it's a good movie. It was not my favorite, but I'm happy it won because I think it's good for cinema.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that
100%.
guy. He was like
Yeah.
After his second speech, he's like, I had nothing else to say.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna get
Scorsese,
drunk.
he gave the
was
opportunity
cool.
for Scorsese to get a standing ovation on an award he lost.
Yep.
Which is an amazing moment.
Dude, he beat Scorsese and Tarantino.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But they're
yeah.
both big fans of his.
Of course. I mean, he makes great films.
Yeah.
But that was a shocker. I guess it wasn't a shocker because people said it might happen.
Yeah.
Everyone assumed 1917 was going to be the
1917,
one.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, good movie, not great,
Right.
but
I didn't-
technically amazing.
I did not see that one.
It's
That's
very good.
Yeah, I
the
wanted to see
story,
it. I
the
heard
story
it's
is
really
so
good.
simple.
right.
Two guys trying to get from here to here in real time.
Right.
But the way it's executed
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Saving Private Ryan with different helmets.
But Saving Private Ryan, if it was a one-take movie, which is great.
That's
It's
wild.
really
Yeah.
fun.
I loved Parasite because I imagined banging other Asian Korean women than my wife in it.
Understandable.
So there
And
was
there's
that
some-
added element.
There's some
that
real
I had.
lookers in that one.
No, I thought it was clever. I thought it was original. I thought the turns that it took. I thought the way it was shot. I do think it deserved to win. Whether or not you're a fan or think it's good or not, I thought this is the film to break that mold of like you have to be a Hollywood cranked out grand movie to win.
That was
Best
good.
Picture. Yeah.
And I think maybe it was just too hyped for me.
Right,
Everyone
right.
said, "Oh, it's so amazing! It's so amazing."
I
Had I
just-
seen it knowing nothing, I maybe
Right.
would have enjoyed it more.
I did see it knowing nothing, so that was maybe what impacted me more. When
and I was
first saw it.
told you gotta see the twist at the end,
Mhm.
and like there's a little twist, but it's not like a
Well,
Kaiser
just-
Sose twist.
It takes a left turn in tone, is
Right,
what it does,
right.
because it's cute and funny for like the first 40
Sure.
minutes. Like, okay, it's quaint.
Right.
That's how I was describing to people. It was like it's quaint and cool and like humorous that this family from the streets is kind of hustling this rich family. But the turns it takes once
Like,
shit
whoa,
goes awry, you're
right.
like, whoa, you know. So
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
was into it.
Did you go to the Oscars?
I went to the Netflix Oscar party.
How was
the
that?
viewing party?
Enjoyable?
Yeah.
Oh, you watched the Oscars?
You watch
Ah.
there, and then everybody who's there comes that had a Netflix.
Was it at the Netflix zone?
No,
or
it was
like a
at
special
the-
place.
It was at. It doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. The San Vicente bungalows, so there's different rooms, and it was like Marriage Stories Netflix,
Oh, that's cool.
Irishman is
Nice.
Netflix. You know, like so. You know, my wife kind of had to go for work reasons.
Right.
So I went, and it was fun, and it was cool, and everybody was there afterwards, and it was fun gawking. But I'm kind of over that. Like, I've seen everyone I wanted to see, and you know what I mean. Like, I'm not trying to sound bragging about it, but I'm like, I'm old, man. I'm old.
Is there anyone left
You know
that
what I mean?
Is
Like,
there anyone left that you want to meet?
Not really.
Really? Nobody
mean, I
that would
can't-
impress you at this stage.
It would have to be someone that rises from the dead. Like we had this question a
Right,
few
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
back.
I was gonna say,
who
it
would you
might-
want to see live or something, play or whatever?
Rip Torn.
Yeah, Rip Torn.
That's wild.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, there are people who are amazing now
Mm-hmm.
that weren't 15, 20 years ago that I met back then. And then they
I
made a
see.
huge career.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
you know, I've been living here for a long time. I've been in and out of circles of that business for a long time.
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
There are people I'd like to punch in the face. I think that would be a better and more enjoyable question to ask.
Right.
Of who in Hollywood would you want to punch in the face? But nah, I pretty much.
So
And again, we've talked about this before. I've met people that have totally killed the fucking fantasy for me of meeting them. And I've also met people that were, oh, that's a cool thing. They've done cool work. And then
Right.
they end up being an awesome human being. And I'm like, that guy I'm all about, or that woman, or whatever. So there you go.
Nice.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What about
Any
you, Frank?
musicians that you wish that you, because you're in the, you're in
Musicians
that world.
I would like to meet. Musicians, no, I don't think so. What about you, Frank?
Man.
George Lopez?
Yeah, George Lopez would be one. Yeah. What was the other guy?
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Paul Rodriguez.
Lou Diamond
Paul
Phillips.
Rodriguez is pretty high up on my list.
Paul Rodriguez. Carlos Mencia. There's a theme here.
Yeah, Julio Iglesias and
Apu from The
I would be
Simpsons.
down with meeting Julio Iglesias.
the original, the father, right? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the son
not
is Jose.
Enrique. No, it's Enrique,
No,
right?
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, no, Julio Iglesias,
Yeah,
the dad,
the
must
father
have,
that's
but
name is Julio Iglesias.
I don't know. I'm
not
not
the son.
listening.
That's a different name.
he must
There's
definitely.
juniors. Who knows?
He must definitely have some stories. That guy.
Jose Feliciano.
Oh, yeah.
That's a guy who I'd like to meet.
That's
too.
a
that Naked Gun?
Latino Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, he's blind.
Well,
He
he's
used to
from
do a lot
Spain.
of
I don't know. If it's
cover
Latino.
tunes like "Light My Fire." It was big in the '70s. It might be a little
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he's
early
got
for
that
it.
Christmas song that everybody has to
Feliz
suffer
Navidad
through.
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah,
Like the
that's
one
him.
we hear all the time. That's who
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is.
Yeah. Before
Nice.
Mariah Carey, it was all Jose Feliciano. Yeah.
He was on Carson one time. This is how old I am.
Wow.
He was on
Carson Daly?
Exactly.
TRL.
He was on Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show, and I remember this as a little kid. He's blind, and like it affected me when I was a little kid because like wow, it's a guy he really can't see, and I'm watching this interview with him, and they're talking about if it's difficult for him to navigate the world. I guess is the general vibe of the question.
Or to play catch?
Yeah. And he said, well, one time, not too long ago, I was in a restaurant, and the waitress asked me if I'd like to see a menu. And I said to her, honey, I'd like to see anything. And I was like, he's got a sense of humor about it. And it was like this
That's
big
great.
comedic moment that I learned from Jose Feliciano on how to like self-deprecate humor and have it be funny and calming. You know what I mean?
Have you guys
That's
seen
wild.
the video of Stevie Wonder catching the microphone stand when it falls?
Meaning conspiracy that he's not really blind.
That motherfucker can see. There's a video on YouTube. You can find it now. Someone walks. He's a bunch of people on stage. I think Paul McCartney might knock over a mic stand, and he just like reaches over and catches it and puts it back
But
up.
when he knocked over the mic stand, was he like he nudged Ringo and went, "Watch this"?
No.
and, like tipped it over to see if he
fucking
catch
weird.
it.
Anyone listening,
That's
look at
wild.
Stevie Wonder can see, and there's a video of it. It's pretty great.
I mean, I know blind people's other senses develop pretty.
but not their eyesight
Impressive,
usually.
but yeah.
And they're in
no,
the middle
that-
of a loud concert.
Yeah, like there's no way he could have heard that. Yeah, that's
No,
a trip.
it's very clear that he's like, oh, let me get that for you. But
You know-
they say you can maybe see shadows, but
Yeah, I don't know
when you
what,
see
to
it,
what
it's
degree
like,
he's
whoa.
blind.
But there's been whispers for a long time that maybe he could
Hmm.
see. I don't know.
You know, it's funny. I was Genevieve was telling me about this subreddit about people who are deaf, and one of the
You
questions.
mean like
that-
really cool?
Yeah, exactly. But one of the questions they asked them was like, because I guess some of them managed to regain their hearing after many years, and one of the questions that somebody asked was like, what was one thing that you were kind of surprised of once you regained your hearing once you heard it? And apparently this person answered, it was actually not something that I heard, but apparently deaf people believe that the sun is loud as fuck. For whatever reason, people that were born deaf and, they live a few years and then...
I know what that is. It's like, when you're watching a film and they're trying to express that it's the heat and you see the waves like in a desert and they make that sound effect that goes... and it's supposed to be the heat.
No.
Yes. All right.
I don't know what you're talking
I-
about.
I think I know what
You know
you're talking about.
exactly.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Me and Dave always talk about that. There's always like this sound when it's the desert and there's like fucking skeletons from the heat, or it's
Yeah.
like a hot road and
I think I
the
know what
heat
you-
is
there's like a
rising off
ringing.
of it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
there's a sound effect that in Hollywood that they use that goes like, I'm gonna fucking find
Yeah,
it
you got to.
now.
Yeah, I know exactly. It was used a lot in
It's
older
u-
movies, I
It's
think.
used
'Cause
all the time.
that is hilarious because that could be it
It's
for
so
all I know.
stupid. Come on.
Not buying it at all, I guess.
So Dan, you actually, now that I remember this, you met someone. Did Tom Brady?
Dude!
Did that?
Oh, boy.
Is that the pinnacle for you?
You saw me. So last week, Jane's Addiction and Red Hot Chili Peppers
Oh yeah.
played a show in a backyard in Beverly Hills. And it was the first time that John Frusciante had played with Chili Peppers in 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time James has played in over 2 years. So before the show starts, our tour manager said, "Hey, I just checked Tom Brady in the crowd and made a joke to him." I'm like, "Wait, what?
Nice.
Tom Brady's here?" He goes, "Yeah." He tried to point him out. I thought he was fucking with me.
Uh-huh.
And then I fucking saw Tom Brady in the crowd. And this is like 200 or 300 people. It's not a lot of people. It's not like we're at like a crowded Staples Center. So I'm with my wife, and I'm like, I got to go over there, right? I have to go. I have to talk to Tom Brady.
Right.
If you're from New England, he's like truly on a god level.
I was
like,
going to say,
godlike.
he's like Jesus to a lot of people.
Basically, yes. And really, I don't think I've ever in my life met a person who is the best at that thing there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Tiger Woods is the best golfer of all time.
Right.
Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. So I walk up, and he's standing with his wife, Giselle, and Chris Rock. And I could not give a shit less about Giselle
funny.
or Chris Rock.
I saw Chris Rock, and I saw them standing from afar, and then I was just like, I could not give a shit about Tom Brady and this this broad he's with, and I'm all about Chris Rock.
Like it's almost like they were invisible. So I walk up, and he was just finishing his conversation, and he looked at me, and I just put my hand out. I'm like, "Tom, I just wanted to thank you for 20 years of some of the best experiences of my life between me and my family and my friends." And he could not have been nicer and cooler, and was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that." He saw my Patriots tattoo. He told me that he loved it, and I believe him. And
nice.
There's talk that he might be done with the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
But at the end, I was like, "I'm going to need 2 more years out of you." And he smiled, and he said, "I'll see what I can do."
Nice.
He could not have been any better. He must have met tens of thousands of people in the last 20 years.
Right.
But Todd, you can probably attest.
What?
The pros make it seem like they've never met anybody before. You know what I mean? Like they make
There's
it feel
people
like
that know how to. Yes.
like they make you feel like they're happy to be talking to you,
Right.
even though they're not. But it was one of the coolest things that's ever
That's
happened.
awesome.
Yep.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not
It
a
just-
Patriots fan, but hey, I'm
Not many
glad
people
that
are.
you.
Yeah.
Hey, if I would have met Pele or something, I don't know.
I did meet Pele a
No
couple
way.
times. It was fucking huge. Yeah.
Couple
Oh,
times.
that's awesome. When was this?
Once when I was a
Bathhouse.
kid. Once when I was a little kid.
Mhm.
And then once in the 90s, because I went to watch Brazil play a World Cup game
Nice.
in Anaheim.
So when you met him the first time, was that when he was playing with the New York Cosmos?
Yeah, I got his autograph
Nice.
and everything.
That was old school. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope.
That was the biggest star in the world
Oh, yeah.
of anything.
Well, I
Ever.
think there was a thing or something that he says that he had traveled to countries where people had not heard of Jesus Christ,
Here's
but
that
they
desert
knew.
sound.
No, that's not it.
It's not it, guys?
That's not it.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Wait, go away. Okay.
But yeah, he had been to countries where kids had never heard of Jesus Christ, but they knew who Pele was.
Pele. Yeah.
You say Pele. Everyone else says Pele.
Yeah. Because he says cock, everybody says cock.
It's true.
It does have an accent on the second E.
It hurts my cock. We don't need to get into that. That was good stuff.
That was fun.
We're going to start posting more video clips on our Instagram of our shows. You guys can please go subscribe to our YouTube page, because we're starting to put all these videos out of our shows.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing that, Frank.
Hey,
You're
no, my
killing it.
pleasure. It's actually it's a lot of fun to kind of rewatch the show afterwards, because I can't believe the stuff we get away with sometimes.
Well, we haven't. Now we're on YouTube. Maybe we won't get away with it, but we'll see.
I know. We'll see. Honestly, I'm looking forward to see what we can get away with.
I'm just happy that you're finally contributing.
Really? Oh, well.
I'm kidding.
Jeez.
No, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Really, no, it's a joke.
No, I know. All good.
But thank you for
Except
doing
for
that.
the fact that I get, can you send me that thing again?
It's like, can you get taught to send me stuff? No, hey, I feel bad because I know you're busy, probably more than both of us put
It's
together.
just a matter
but,
of fucking dragging it into the thing and sending it and
There it
walking,
is.
yeah.
walking away from the computer.
Nothing is hard anymore when it comes to sending data.
No,
It's all in your pocket.
It's yeah. I had to figure out a way to make something postable recently. That was like a long thing and not in the right format. I'm like, oh, this is gonna take me forever. probably gonna have to buy a bunch of fucking new apps or whatever that redoes it. I went online within 8 seconds. I was like, "Oh, figured it out." I was like, the technology is
Nice.
really amazing now.
It's definitely gotten better. Yep.
We're talking about stuff being uploaded, and I don't want to bring the show down, but something very tragic happened to someone in your friend circle recently.
Yeah, I mean, it was someone that was definitely closer to Dave, but it's all over the fucking news. And this girl that we know, I don't really even want to really get into it.
My point is just that this tragic thing happened.
Yeah.
This very swimmingly sweet girl was murdered by her boyfriend.
Yes.
But if you want, you can watch Todd's film Morning Sun on YouTube for free right now, right?
Yes.
Nice.
You know, I got excuse me, I got a nasty comment when I posted it. And one of the reasons, and it actually was a good nasty comment. I deleted it right away, but basically I copied and pasted like copy from the thing that I posted like 5 years ago and posted it on. I've never done an IGTV thing before, so it was brand new to me. And I pasted it in there, and then I pasted what Dave wrote. Because the stuff that I posted, Dave was closer to her.
Yeah.
I knew her. She was a friend of all the people that are on the show and stuff like that. And in fact, she
everyone
was
that I know seems to know this girl.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's very sad.
Yeah, and she's the sweetest girl in the world and a good person, and it's a fucking horrible thing. But obviously, if you've seen the film or you're a fan of Dave's, you know the story. The Morning Sun and Dave's mom was murdered and stalked and stuff like that. So he wanted to point people to watch the film. There's a free one. So we did that. We're like, yeah, fuck that. They don't make money. But I posted the thing saying, oh, it's on Amazon and Google, whatever the sites that it was on. And someone wrote, this is fucking disgusting. Run out and buy my DVD on the heels of this murder. And they were right because I didn't read it.
Oh, right.
I just put it all in, pasted, and I immediately was like, I felt bad. And I immediately...
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I immediately deleted that comment and then deleted where you could find it other than the free one. But Dave was very adamant at making the point of, it's here. You can watch it for nothing. And
that's the point. This is
a
not
cautionary tale of like if you're in this situation, the most worst thing that you can imagine can happen and does, and it did just now. So if you know someone suffering, or if you're in that position in its dire situation, get help. Like there's places you can go. There are safe havens. You know, blah blah blah.
We have promoted this film many times on both of these shows. This is not a promotion for the show. This is literally like if you feel like you need help or you know someone that does, watch this film because you can see what can happen if you stay in a bad situation, or not even stay, but just like what can happen if you, you know, if you see warning signs.
If you see the warning signs, do something. You know, whether you're in that situation or whether you have people that are in that situation and you're on the outside of it, you know, do whatever you can. It also shows, you know, the shattered lives left behind and how you got to go through all kinds of shit, and it's, you know, in the embodiment of Dave's life and all the good and bad turns it took. So yeah, you can check it out for free. I don't know the exact link right offhand.
If you just Google or go on YouTube,
if you go to YouTube and you look up the AXS TV version of it, it's there for free. You can watch the whole fucking thing. I don't know if there's commercials in that one or not.
Whatever,
but if there are,
it's worth it.
Yeah, just fucking forward through them.
It's a great message, and it really is a great film, and it's important.
Is. But the point is, we wanted to put it out, direct people to go see it without having to. It's there.
Right.
And I got shit for it. I was like, my knee jerk was, asshole, keep reading to the fucking bottom. It's the free one, you know. But then I was like, I see their point. Let me just
not the time to get into a fight over it.
Yeah. So I did, but I felt bad. I was like, oh shit, I fucked up here. So anyway,
I want to tell a quick story about an absolute fucking retard I was standing behind at Universal Studios last week.
Oh boy.
I'm in line to get food at a little cafe, and there's literally 4 things on the menu.
Yeah, you know, you're not supposed to use that word.
Food?
Yeah, food.
Sorry, this retard was looking at edible
edible arrangements.
So there's literally 5 options. There's like burger, chicken sandwich, chicken tenders, tuna fish sandwich, and patty melt. So the guy's with his girlfriend or wife, and there's a decent line, and he's pointing. He goes, tuna fish. Is that chicken salad? And the person who's there was like, excuse me? Like that one, is it chicken salad? He's like, no, it's tuna fish. He said, all of it?
Oh my God.
How can you look at tuna fish and ask if it's chicken salad?
Wow.
There are a lot of fucking stupid people in the world, man. I'm
And
noticing
that, by the way, I know you're not supposed to say retard, but that's why it's the proper word for this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm gonna stick by it.
He actually might have had some deficiency.
I hope
in
he
his
did.
brain.
Otherwise, he's in for a long life.
I've
long,
told
hard
you
life.
the story, I think, a long time ago on radio, where that one time that using that word, this is before we lived in the climate of you can't say anything to anyone anymore. I felt like killing myself over using that fucking word. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I told it on Dark Matter before.
Okay.
We're in high school. We cut in school, me and my fucking delinquent friends, and we're at McDonald's. But back then, do you know
you
this?
say, yeah.
All right, I'll tell it for any new listeners. I'll give the Cliff Notes version. We're in line, and back then in the 80s, there was the Ronald McDonald house. It was a lucite made plastic house. You drop money in there for the foundation for children.
It's coming back to me.
Yeah. So there's like fucking 5s and 10s and singles and a ton of quarters, and the house is like halfway full. And I'm broke. I grew up with no money, and
Broke and a shitty kid.
yeah, broke and a shitty kid, and like a delinquent with long hair, a heavy metal kid, right? And we're standing there, my friends have a couple of bucks, and I'm completely broke. And I turn to one of my friends, I say, look at all the money in there for those fucking retards. I can't even buy a fucking hamburger. And I turn around, and there's a woman holding in a toddler that is obviously retarded.
Oh God! Oh
And
God! Oh God!
She doesn't look at me like, fuck you. She looks at me like, oh, so how sad for you. And I just like,
you became 2 inches tall.
You know in the old Flintstones when Fred's embarrassed and he shrinks down like this and his voice gets all squeaky?
That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly, I felt that
man.
happening physically to my body. I felt fucking terrible. For years, it didn't just go away at the end of the day. It was like years. I could still see the kid's
man.
face and the woman's face. This is like
Holy
1986.
So how old are you?
I'll be 50
No,
in a couple weeks.
how old were you then?
16.
So at that point, you're not at the age where you have the balls to even apologize.
No,
You don't have that kind of backbone
I was
to.
mortified to the point of paralyzation. I could not apologize.
Oh,
now if I got caught doing something, of course,
That's what I'm saying.
I'll be
There's
the
a certain
first.
point where you can.
Yeah. I don't tell you that I can't do the show for 2 weeks. I'm like, damn, I'm so sorry, Frank. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know how to apologize. I had no skills whatsoever.
God, dude.
That's awful.
And like, it also demarcated a line between some of my friends and I, because I did voice later to a couple of them how I felt bad. And they were just like, what do you fucking feel bad? It fucking retard. I'm like, dude,
No.
we are not cut from the same fucking cloth.
This is the part of our lives when we start going the other direction.
This is where it was like, I might have to move out of the city at some point and start a new life.
Did that moment change the way you talk in
man.
public forever? Like, did it give you
It taught me
an
to-
awareness that you didn't have
gave
before?
me awareness of like, be careful and look around. And of course, look, we all know the sense of humor that we have, and we definitely push the envelope here and cross the line, and it's all meant to be funny. And we've
Always.
said that a million times. And I believe there's a need and an importance for that in humanity still to this day. To my core, that's what I'm about. But to just be hurtful and just out of carelessness, it definitely gave me an awareness. It was a life lesson of like, dude, shut your fucking mouth unless you're sure that it's falling upon fucking ears that are ready to accept and hear what you have to say.
That one
as
sucks.
a funny way. Yeah. It was fucking terrible. I had a few incidents in my life with that Ronald McDonald House. Not me personally, but it was centered around.
I thought this is the one where you tried to.
No, that wasn't me that tried it. That was a friend of mine.
Tell the quick version.
All
of
right,
that.
so the quick version is that house, right?
This is straight out of a fucking movie.
It was hooked on a chain to like the register, but it was in the back of it. And I had a buddy. We were all fucked up, and the house was half full again. And I don't know if they put that money in there to make it look like his people are giving. Right. So, you know, but it was like there was a good sum of money in there. And he fucking looks left, and I see it all plotting in his eyes. And he looks left, and he grabs it. It's big. It was big.
It's big. It's like a dollhouse.
Yeah, it's like a dollhouse. So he puts his arms around it, and he turns, and he starts running. And the chain was long enough where he got like 3 strides, and then it just yanked. And he ended up on his ass. And the house broke, and all the money came out of it. Nobody, you know,
of course,
nobody fucking hoarded onto it. And there was always a cop posted out because shit used to happen in that McDonald's where I live. So there's always a cop posted right outside the door, and he just casually walked over and put his foot on my friend's chest and took him away.
Nice.
That Ronald McDonald House was a hotbed for activity.
You know what? Like it hurts. It hurts more than it does good. It seems like it causes more harm than it should.
Oh man.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I forgot all about that one for a minute.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of yay or like good or bad words, I have a word I want to ask you guys about, and I really don't know. Are we allowed to say the word?
Be careful.
I am.
Okay.
What
does it start with?
W.
What does it end with?
Igger. Are you allowed to use the word wigger anymore?
I'd assume not. But
have we heard anything about it?
I think it's just a dumb word.
Yeah.
To be honest, because, you know, I know Eminem used to use that word in some of his songs, like people who think I'm just some, you know.
Yeah, but people use the N-word in songs too.
Yeah,
but you obviously can't do it.
Right.
But wigger is a word that like makes fun of white people. Obviously, part of it has to do with a horrible word, but
right. But here's why. You just hit the nail on the head for me, and here's why you're probably not supposed to use it. It's making fun of white people who act black, or act like rappers or whatever. So you're in essence taking the word you're not supposed to say a derogatory word about a certain race, and changing the word to imply that this person from this other race is acting that way. So I can't imagine that you should be able to use that word anymore. I mean,
makes sense.
To me, words are just words, and we all get that, and we all know where we're coming from. But I can't imagine that that's a word in today. You can't say fucking anything. Like I can't imagine that. That's got some group that's gonna be really pissed off.
You know, there's the word is on Wikipedia, and you can also say it with an A at the end.
Oh, really? Oh.
And that's just
so dumb.
That whole thing too is like, I get it. The fucking hard R is racist and this and that, but like, people just it's just words, man. Don't worry about the word. Worry about the asshole whose mouth it comes out of. It's the intention of the word. You know, I could say horrible, violent shit pointed to you without cursing, and you'd be fucking nervous about it. Or I could say a bunch of flippant things where we're just in conversation, and you walk away and don't think twice about it because that's not my intention.
Right.
It's like, stop with everybody getting all fucking pissy and hurt by shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Worry about the intention, not about the word.
100%. I just Googled, can you say the word wigger? And it came up with a few articles. This is one came up. California private school suspends 14 students after they throw a party, a wigger-themed party.
Oh, my gosh.
They're all just wearing wigs?
I don't think so. I don't think so. They were, like, dressed as gangsters in, like, a dorm or some shit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, because they're white people, like, acting a certain stereotype. Right. So that's why I'd imagine you should not use that word.
Okay.
You know?
Fair.
Instead, you could say a bunch of white guys trying to act black. Like, why does there
There you
have to
go.
be a
But
word
then
for
you could
it?
say, like, well, what does acting black mean?
Yeah, well, you know, a bunch of white guys acting like thugs or whatever. Like,
Todd.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's exactly my point.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, so there's no winning.
Right.
You know?
You
I
can
mean,
act white too. Like
yeah.
there's a
Oh yeah.
there's a
yeah.
way though. There's a very white people dances and white people everything.
There's also just like acting like a thug or acting. You can't
Right.
say acting black because that is a stereotype. So, you know, there are fucking majorly successful lawyers and doctors and everything. Just like there are whites that are rednecks or whites
course.
that are.
I
you
grew
know,
up white trash as shit.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like we literally had like tires and cinder blocks in our front yard.
yeah.
Like we had
yeah.
there was no
you
question.
can't say black or white. It's too. You have to dice it up into
Yep.
categories. You know what I mean? There's like you just can't.
Yeah,
Fair.
it reminds me a bit of the controversy from like the '90s when Guns N' Roses released that one song. I forgot, but
One in a million.
1 in a Million,
Yep.
right? And you know, Axl took a lot of heat because he uses the N word.
yeah,
Well, he also says faggots in it.
Oh,
So he
really?
bashes on immigrants,
Holy
black
cow.
people, and homosexuals
Right.
in one fucking
One-
great
one
song.
swoop.
It sucks how
Right.
good it is, but it's like yeah, it was rough.
I think I saw him a couple of times trying to take the McDonald house. So,
Probably
I've seen him a
Getting
lot
off-
in McDonald's lately.
getting off the bus in downtown LA.
Oh,
Yeah,
hilarious.
man, it's just like it's so fucked up, man. You can't say anything about anybody without it being a fucking thing. There's just no way around it.
There's another thing I want to bring up, but
Mm.
and I really don't like the woke culture. That's no secret.
Right.
But I had a thought the other day, and I'm wondering what the difference is. How do I word it? How is drag, like men dressing in drag?
hmm
How is that not equivalent to blackface, in a way?
It is not.
Mm,
It's
no,
not
no, no,
equivalent,
no,
and
no.
I'll tell you why.
Please
why
do.
I think.
Okay.
Because blackface was in. First of all, it was spawned in
Okay,
slavery.
okay. I'm not saying classic blackface. I'm saying like if you like when Jimmy Kimmel was playing Karl Malone on his TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing racist about it, but he put brown paint on his body so he could be Karl Malone, the
Right.
basketball player.
Right, he was acting as Karl Malone. Right.
So
right.
if you're getting in drag and you're a man and you're pretending to be a woman, what is the difference?
Well, that's the thing. Then that because
everything's
what
called
you're
blackface
saying-
now.
Right,
Right.
So what you're saying is that what the real argument is Jimmy Kimmel doing blackface or is he dressing as Karl Malone?
You can't do any of it now.
Yeah, you
So
can't do
like,
any of it
like,
now.
like
but
we've
okay.
said before, if I want to be O.J. Simpson for Halloween, I can't put
You just
brown
can't.
paint on.
You
right.
just can't. So
Right.
yeah.
So if that's where we're at with if blackface means imitating any black person, which is what it means now,
Right,
I
right.
think, why can drag still happen?
But that's not what it means now. That's what people think it might mean now.
It does mean that now.
But that's what I'm saying is that's what woke culture might think it means. But if you search the history of blackface, where it was spawned,
Right,
how it was
right.
rooted in slavery, how it was a specific portrayal that was completely derogatory, that's where it came from. That's the original form of it. And it was something that was done purposefully.
Right.
But men dressing in drag as women isn't spawned from like the women's plight of
Sure.
the not being able to vote or
Suffrage,
or,
the
the
whole-
suffrage movement or any of that, and it's more based in a sexual orientation need, I believe. I mean, I'm sure that there are some men who dress in drag who are not gay necessarily,
Right.
or who, I don't know. I'm completely fishing on that one, but like, it's not meant to be. It's almost like an homage to the grandiosity of being feminine and over the top. So that it's
Totally.
just
Yeah.
rooted in a completely different place.
But yes, but I think that your point is great. But I think for the most part, woke culture doesn't think through these things.
I 100% agree with you.
It's just anger,
this,
and you can't do this because you're pretending to be someone that you're not.
Yeah.
So why hasn't woke culture jumped onto the drag thing yet?
Because you just said that too, is pretending something that you're not. I'm sure a drag queen is like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
I am this. This is what I am, a drag queen. This is what I do. I'm a transvestite. I dress in women's clothes. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel pleasure, whatever their reasoning is.
So if there became a subculture of white people, we'll say, who just like think it's cooler to be black and like really respect black culture, and they for some reason
there was
want
that
to,
woman from the NAACP,
and she got fucking crucified,
right? Which I actually agreed with, to be honest.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me?
With her being crucified? Agree. I think she should have.
With her being crucified in the sense of like,
but
you
she
can't
was trying
identify that way
people
if you're
in
not
drag,
that.
right? But the difference is people in drag are not trying to trick anybody,
right?
Like,
well, I've seen some good ones in LA. Are you kidding
me? There's
Holy
transvestites
shit,
and there's
that's
people
a
in drag.
Fucking, that's a guy.
I'd fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like there's so many similarities between drag and blackface, and I'm wondering if it'll ever become a thing. And if we started here, I'm gonna be really upset at myself.
Yeah, well, that's why maybe I'm saying, from my perspective, I don't see the similarity as much. But in woke culture, yeah, they see this. They should see the similarity because they don't think things through.
This is when I wish we had phones.
It's exactly. This is black and white in metaphorically, like either you can do it or you can't do it, and that's bullshit. There are different reasons for doing different things in different subcultures, and you know what I mean. So again, I think for me, the argument that I would make is one was rooted in a horrible time and is meant to be derogatory. One is meant to be celebratory. You know.
Right. Yeah. That's a big difference.
You know, so.
But again, my point about woke culture, not always knowing the difference between those things.
Right, and also woke culture won't turn around and say, you can't do that to a group.
Another minority,
another oppressed.
Not a minority, but I do
yeah.
not mean minority, but you know what I mean.
But a group that traditionally has been oppressed in culture
had
in
a
the
rough
past
go.
bunch of decades. Yeah.
And still has work to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they pick and choose, you know, which is fucked up. But
I'll accept that.
There was also a really interesting photo about 2 years ago on Facebook of a kid, it must have been elementary school age, who wanted to go to school dressed as Malcolm X, but he was a white kid. And what he did was he just wore a suit and the Ray-Ban looking sunglasses that Malcolm X used to wear, and that was his outfit as Malcolm X. He didn't need to do blackface or anything. So I feel like you can be respectful and pay homage to the culture and the people, and you still retain your individuality in the process.
Interesting. True. So do you consider yourself?
Can you imagine the movie Soul Man being made today? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
With C. Thomas Howell?
Of course. Yes.
There's no way you could do that.
No,
today.
but you could still make white chicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the Damons.
Yeah. I mean,
it can still come our way.
Yeah.
Which is I'm fine with.
Yeah, I'm fine with too.
It's still.
Here's the thing.
If you're born a straight white man, you have hit the lottery.
Right.
So I'll take whatever barbs you want to throw.
And then like this, I look at it like this: like, do whatever the fuck you want culturally. Like, if I'm sitting across the table from you having a fucking cup of coffee, that's all there is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're black, white, gay, whatever. Like, I've experienced it all, and I know enough in my life after making comments like at the McDonald's thing is like, just keep your mouth shut and listen for a few minutes, and then you can make the decision. You know what I mean? Because I used to be way more of a like, if I'm mad, I will go to the stereotyping card in my mind of, and I don't feel that way. It's just like, I want to be as hurtful as I can.
Right.
And I did a lot of work to not be that way. You know what I mean? So like, I don't give a fuck what you fucking do as long as you're fucking cool, not hurting anybody.
Right.
But the whole woke thing and the cancel culture thing and this and that, it's like, I really believe a lot of that spawned from kids who have not grown up with enough social situations, and they're getting all their information and all their interaction electronically.
Yeah.
Digitally. And it's like the world just is not like that.
And all
You
of
know
us
what I
are
mean?
guilty in a way of living in our own bubbles. And
Yeah,
if you,
yeah.
If you live in that woke bubble, you're just not gonna get out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But if you've grown up in it, you have no touchstone of any other thing anyway. So I just see it getting worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
But-
it's definitely not close to being over.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah. I
You
wonder
know?
what it's going to take.
And there are plenty of awesome things about. I just hate the fucking phrase woke. You know, like it's that word that fucking rubs me the wrong
It's
way.
gross.
Right.
Like, you know, more aware, maybe. Just like, why do we have to fucking put a little name on Me Too, woke, blah, blah.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
just
It's
talk
because-
about it. Just like, we don't need to.
We're in the hashtag generation.
Yeah, the
Right.
LOL generation, the fucking LMAO. Like, shh. Just say that's funny.
Right.
Like, I can't take it anymore. I'm caught in this world of like where my kids are growing up
Yeah.
that way, and I'm guilty of it to some extent because I was here for the birth of computers and the birth of cell phones and texting. You know, I started texting before I had a phone. I had a pager or and then a BlackBerry, and like I went through the evolution. And, like it was fun and cool. Oh, look what you can do now. Oh, look what now there's little animation. Oh, look at how the technology is growing. And I'm slowly realizing, like, this is not the way I want to be growing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I just deleted almost everything off my Facebook at this point.
Uh-huh.
There's a few things up there, a few links of stuff to, like, the film and a couple of pictures of the kid or whatever. But I went through and I was like, I just don't know if I want to be that accessible anymore. Like, maybe in one place, I'll just keep my Instagram or whatever.
Right.
But I get like people do, like Dave dumped a lot of stuff, and I took all the games off my phone, like because I had a lot of Scrabble and blah, blah stupid shit. The more time that I have now of like the extra fucking 10 minutes of playing some game in some waiting room, you know, or whatever on some flight or whatever, I'm just thinking about so much more shit now. Like it's good. I don't need that much distraction.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd like to be a little more fucking aware. And a lot of it is just like bullshit that's coming down the pike, and I'm guilty of it. I'll open up the app, I'll get up in the morning and fucking sit there, and I'm like, I just can't fucking do this anymore, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's disgusting to me now at this point.
Things are changing
Yeah,
quickly.
well, everything is competing for your attention nowadays, and I think that's the scary part, and that's why you see a lot of problems nowadays, because we stop paying attention to what's actually happening, and we're just focused to what's filtering through our phones to tell us what's happening.
Dude, with the kids, perfect example this weekend. Like, you know, I have a rule with my kids, like, in the car, unless we're on like a fucking 3-hour trip, you are not allowed to look at your phone. Like, I want you need to be, especially my son's a couple years, he's going to be driving.
Right.
Like, I spent my childhood
Watching
looking
your
out the
parents.
window,
Yeah.
watching my parents, what they did. When the time came, when I was fucking 13, I
I knew how to start a car. I knew how to
stealing
drive
my
a manual.
parents' car.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents' stick.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so I make them, like, you have to build the skill and the sense of what's around you. But we're in fucking Vegas, and the kids are, like, in the fucking limousine on their phones. Like, I got them, and I said, guys, put those fucking phones down right now. Look outside. Like, look around you.
This is one of the most famous things to look at in the
Yeah.
whole world. There's
I'm like-
nothing like this anywhere else.
And it's all lights and fucking bells and whistles, like exactly what you're looking on that little fucking
Right.
screen. Just look, it's right here. Open the fucking windows.
In
you know?
real life.
And we
Vegas
got-
is the first iPhone.
yeah, and we went downtown. Yeah, exactly. And we went downtown and to the Dome, you know, Fremont Street, and I wanted them to see the laser thing and everything. And I was like, I had to give them a fucking talk. You know, I'm like, guys. First of all, we're pulling up to this part of town. This is not where we just were at the hoity-toity hotel.
Keep your
that-
head on a swivel here.
that leaves chocolates
Right.
missing. And I'm like, yeah, you got to be careful. I'm like, there's gonna be wasted people down here, and I wanted them to have that experience too. You know, of like, this is what people do also, and you got to be careful.
Were they doing that,
And-
trying to give him the naked?
Oh yeah. Oh, I made the million jokes like, guys, you know, we're gonna get hookers later and do blow and blah blah
Nice.
blah. And they, I think they enjoy the fact that I'm like a funny guy, like his friends, and you know, Luke, your dad's so cool. You know, maybe their parents aren't. I don't know, but I took them down there.
You did cocaine in Vegas with the Newmans?
Yeah. So I took him down there, and I was like, guys, phones in the front pocket. How come? I'm like, because you're going to be looking up the fucking ceiling. Like, people are going to pick your pocket or whatever. While it stays in the fucking thing, I'm like, we're pulling up in a limousine. That's right off the bat. We're off to a bad start.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, we get out there, and I'm like, if there's drunk fucking people or if there's rowdy people, because we saw a couple of people when I took the kids to Circus, ride the roller coasters, all that. And I'm like, this place is a shithole, and there's rough people in here, so be careful. Like, I had to pull, they were making comments. They're 14-year-old kids. So I had to pull a couple of them aside and say, guys, you got to keep the comments down to a minimum because people are wasted. These kids are tall kids, too. I'm like, someone's going to think you're a fucking 20-year-old and knock you the fuck out.
Or
you know?
they'll know their kids and fuck you up.
Yeah.
Jump you.
Yeah, so we saw, like, guys getting thrown out. One guy got irate and fucking pushed over this whole big column thing that was made of concrete, and it smashed into the parking lot. Like,
that's pretty cool.
And you could see the kids, like, they never saw shit like that. These are sheltered fucking
These are kids. I mean, you guys they go to nice schools. They live in nice neighborhoods.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they live in L.A., but
I'm giving them a little taste, you know. And I'm like,
this is how you kill a drifter.
Yeah, when you're out here, I'm like, if there's drunken fucking people like making spectacles of themselves, don't stare at them. Like, don't make eye contact. Like, I got to teach
Cross
these
the
kids
street,
that.
just don't look at. Yeah.
So this one guy, we get out there, and there's this one guy, and he's just like, he just looks like he's been completely embalmed in meth for like 20 years, right?
Sweet.
And he's having a great time, this guy, though. He's got like a Popov glass flask, like vodka glass flask in his hand, and a tall boy Modelo beer in the other hand. And he's dancing in a circle, and everyone's looking at it. Like, he's obviously a spectacle. And at one point, he pulls his shirt off, and he's fucking emaciated and gross, and his pants are fucking hanging down. They're filthy dirty. And he takes the beer, and he pours it all over his head. And I turn, and I look at my son and his friends' faces, and they're like, they can't believe, they never saw this except for, like, maybe in a film somewhere.
Right.
Like, and my son turns to me, he's like, Dad, should we go? I'm like, no, just stand back and we'll watch the show and then we'll go. But I could tell they were fucking scared. And I'm like, good. But scared is the right feeling to have.
Right.
Because you'll make the proper decisions. But there was one or two other kids, too, that were like, these fucking poor people. Like, and I was like, that was the one I had to pull aside and be like, bro, you got to fucking chill out.
I remember the moment, the moment I had that experience of like, whoa, things are not just the way I know them in my home life. Right. I was in Boston with my girlfriend when we were like 15, and we went into a Dunkin' Donuts to have like a bagel or something. And a homeless dude kind of shuffles in, walks up to the trash can, takes his dick out, puts it in, we're inside, and he puts his dick in the trash can, just pisses for like 2 minutes.
Sucked it, and that's how you knew things aren't the same.
Yeah. That's how I knew she was into black dudes. That's how I found out. So he just pisses and pisses, and I'm like, people just do shit.
Yeah,
like, this is crazy.
It's funny too because we saw.
I grew up in the suburbs outside of Boston, so I didn't see Boston a lot.
Right. We saw almost the same thing. It was outside. The kids wanted to get some food. We went to a little Mexican spot for tacos. That's what they wanted, and we found a place, and we're walking down the street after we eat, and there's just a guy like standing up like this, pissing into the garbage can. And Luca taps me. I'm like, yeah, just keep walking. Let him enjoy his piss. But yeah, people do this shit.
Yep, that's
true.
Real life stuff.
Yeah, there's no concierge out on the streets, buddy. You know what I mean? There's no VIP services that can make sure the chocolates are all intact.
Stay in our bubble.
Comp our dinner for tonight. Yeah. So yeah, but
that's funny shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You guys want to do some voicemails?
Yeah,
or some comments?
Let's do it.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Rare Form Radio.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, Danny. I know you like to make fun of President Trump for not knowing that Kansas City was in Missouri, but you also thought the Super Bowl was being played in Kansas City. It was in Miami. Pot calling the kettle black, don't you think? Love you, brother.
I also think Trump doesn't have an upper lip, but I could be wrong.
Frank, I will fuck you up so bad.
I'll get your back here for a second.
Oh, boy.
What's an upper lip?
Thank you. It's a Spanish word. No, that's a good point. We did make fun of Trump for not knowing, and I said, he flew in there. He should know where he was, but the game was not played in Kansas City. So I will own it.
Yeah, but that's not knowing where the game is.
But I did know. But I was trying to make fun of this guy for not knowing where he was, and I didn't. I did know, but it seemed like I didn't know where the fucking
so
Super
you're
Bowl
a fucking
was.
idiot.
I hate myself. That's what I'm getting at.
At least you never had to almost commit suicide at McDonald's one time.
This is true. All right, we're going to get dark for a minute here.
No.
Wait a minute here. Dan, I know you watch a lot of horrific videos online. How do you not replay that stuff in your head afterwards? This is a multiple part question. I do replay it a lot in my head. There's been some videos I've seen that I just will never forget and that I can't forget. But I still am so morbidly interested that I have to keep finding them. And then part of the fun is making others experience it too. I've tried with you. You just won't really do it. You've watched a couple.
Yeah.
For my benefit. I think
but I've done it, and that's why I know I'm not doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, like it's fucking. There's no need because I do. I'll replay the event in my head too, but I don't get hard like you do.
That's true. I do get very hard.
Oh, my God.
And Modified Vegan also asks, how do you all feel about the obsession today's society has on true crime? It's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a somewhat 5 or 10 year, maybe longer. Because I used to love that show, A Current Affair, in the 80s or 90s, and that was all usually about like murders and shit. But for some reason, in the last 10 to 20 years, cable has gone crazy with true crime.
Well, I think
shit.
more people are exposed to the true crime. What is that? Why did you? Let's get into this first. This is more important. Why did you pick that as the underlying tone for the question that was asked?
This is the theme that I wrote when we talk about dark, weird things.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Like Frank has his theme, I have mine, and you just have.
This
What is your problem, you insensitive asshole?
I have another one for you in my computer. It's just not hooked up to the thing. You got it?
You do.
Okay.
That's what we got to get your audio shit.
Well,
back
I'll
on,
give you
too.
all my
Yeah.
stuff. What were we talking about? I don't fucking.
The obsession with true crime. The obsession with true crime.
I think it's just more readily available to people now, and I think that more people are turned on to it. You don't have to seek it out. There's fucking channels dedicated to it. There's Discovery ID or whatever. So, I just think that's why the spike in the last 5, 10, 15 years but I think it's always been human fascination of the darkest parts of ourselves is where, for me, I love true crime.
Yeah.
I don't like snuff shit like you guys do or you do. No, I don't want to throw you in
This
that.
guy watches fucking child porn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, this guy watches fucking child porn. It's awful. Terrible.
Everyone trim that out and repost it everywhere you can.
This guy watches fucking child porn.
That's gonna be the soundbite. That's a sad.
No, I love true crime. I mean, I made a kind of a true crime movie. You know what I mean? It's got a intimate personal side to it, but
Intimate.
Oh my God,
but
Jesus.
you know what that was? I thought I was gonna sneeze for a second. I held it back. Hang on.
You choked it down? Do it.
All right.
There you go.
I love true crime, but yeah, I think it's simply that's it. If it's told well and dramatic, you know, films and even from Shakespeare has a lot of true crime in it, crimes of passion, things like that. I think it's interesting to watch the darkest parts of our own humanity, you know. But when it gets into psychoticness of like killers and stuff, yes, sure, I have fascination on the story of it, but the actual seeing killings and real stuff, especially when it's like cartel type of shit. I gotta chainsaw this guy's head off or terrorist shit. To me, it's not sexy.
It's true. I mean? It's not everything can be Ted Bundy.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's go from that to talk about snow.
Okay.
You and I are from the East Coast.
Yes.
And someone said, as former East Coasters, do you guys ever miss having snowstorms?
I do. When I go back and see snow, I'm like, oh yeah, it was such a huge part of my growing up. That feeling of like, here's the difference. My kids have fires, okay?
Yeah.
And in this sense, yeah.
I was hoping no one caught it.
Yeah.
Something got caught in my fucking throat.
Dan just became an 80-year-old woman with emphysema.
That's what I was thinking of when it happened. God damn it.
Oh, Johnny smoked all his life, and he never thought it would affect me. Yeah.
Nothing slides on this show.
Nothing, clearly.
Okay, so...
Especially this guy watching fucking child porn.
This guy watches child porn!
Okay, snow days.
Okay, snow days. Here's the
my.
difference, though. When I was a kid, and it just starts snowing that night, like right before you went to bed a little bit, and then you wake up and open up the window, and everything's fucking white. And you turn on the radio. You had to turn on the radio back then.
Am I going to school?
Am I going to school? See if the schools are closed. And you're hearing them list all the fucking districts off, and then closed.
New Rochelle, closed.
Bam! Yeah, you're like, yes.
Suck it, life.
And the first thing you do is run out and go find your friends and go play in the fucking snow.
Right.
Yeah.
My kids have fires. School is closed today because you can't breathe. They have to stay indoors.
And
they can't do anything.
You may lose your house.
Yeah, you may lose your house. There's devastation, involved. But yeah, as an adult, I do miss snow, and I do miss the change of seasons. Now, we definitely get a cold season here, but it just seems like there's two seasons in Los Angeles. It's hot in the same every day for a long time. Then it gets cool for like a couple months, rains a few times. You know, that bullshit, it never rains in LA. It does. There's a season, and that's it. But growing up on the East Coast, and the same in your geographically where you grew up, there's a day 4 times a year where the season has changed and you know it. Like summer is over. And now I can start wearing sweatshirts. Like, and it's a day that happens.
And then there's a day like, Mom, I need my winter coat.
Yeah, and it's freezing.
It's musty.
yeah. And I do miss that. And I also do think that prepares you differently in life somehow.
I agree.
A good
That's
change
true.
of seasons, and it gives you an adaptability and smacks you out of
And not just
your
adapting to the
routine.
weather, but like to situations.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to be like, oh, fucking East Coast, we know how to fucking do.
But we do.
But we do. But it definitely prepares you in a different way for an acceptance and adaptability, a letting go of it's just not like that anymore, and now we're into
That's
this.
the thing of like, don't get too comfortable because things are going to change.
Right, and also the heat, especially in New York, the heat in the summer, you don't care how you look. Everyone's fucking sweating bullets. Your clothes sticks to you. You can't fucking look, you know what I mean? Like, so you just accept that it's just too hot to even give a fuck.
Yep.
And when it's freezing, it's too fucking cold to give a fuck.
Yep.
I don't care what my jacket looks like. I want it to keep me warm. Whereas here, it's like, I can't wait for it to get cool so I can wear the cool jacket I bought.
Wear my
You know,
Patagonia down.
Yeah,
Going to Aspen.
my fitted Patagonia with the little square quiltings, which I hate.
Yeah.
Those fucking jackets. But like, you know, so yeah, I do. I miss the snow is the bottom line. Yes.
You're talking about snow days, but there's a better snow day. It's the one where the school is canceled the night before because they know it's going to be bad.
Oh.
So you go to your friend's house and sleep over on a Tuesday.
Yeah, you get up
and it's just the fucking best.
and it just dumps
Yep.
all night long, and the fucking flakes are like this
Huge.
big. You can't see or white out.
And you get up in the morning, you go outside, and you don't come back till it's dark, even though it's covered with snow.
One time,
You can't feel your toes. You're soaking wet.
One time I was out on the front portion of where we lived, and it was like, I don't know, I must have been like 10 years old, 9 years old, and it was a huge, like fucking 4 feet of snow had fallen. And I went outside, and I dug a big hole like to the grass.
Uh-huh.
And it was like a big crater that I dug out. And then I made like a little spot where half my body could go in, like where there was still a ledge, but an igloo almost.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there and fell asleep.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it was incredibly warm. Like it was then that I understood how Eskimos survive in
They're not
igloos.
freezing,
Yeah,
yeah.
how they're not freezing. It's like, oh wow, it's kind of warm in here. And I inadvertently just dozed off. And my mother freaked. She couldn't find me. She was yelling for me out there. And then like after like 5 minutes, I heard her and I was like, what? She was like, oh my God. Like she was freaked. She thought I was abducted.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Just sleeping in
I
a
was just
snowbank.
sleeping in a self-made
hilarious.
snowbank
That's amazing.
on a day off from school.
I always
That's
say I
great.
don't miss the snow, but when I do go home in the winter and there's like, when it's snowing, it's great. It's the day after, 2 days after is when it sucks. When it's all
Slush
brown
and
slush,
and gross, and
it's
fucking-
melting. You step in a puddle. It's like 4 feet deep
Yeah,
of just the
yeah.
coldest dirt water.
The after effect, and it's when you're a kid, it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice comment here. This is the first time I've ever subscribed to anything on YouTube. You guys rock. Thank you, Desiree.
Oh, that's nice.
Frank, where can people find us, by the way?
They can go to twitter.com/rareform radio. Instagram.
Wait.
Rare.
Red form?
There's
You said
rare.
red
I said
form.
rare form.
Red tube? You can find us on
Oh,
RedTube.
yeah. Sorry, I mixed the two up. Instagram.com/rareform radio. Does anybody? No, you just use the app on Instagram, right? Nobody
The
actually.
app? No. What kind
Nobody,
of fucking
Because
what
I'm
kind
like
of animal?
Instagram.com.
My
/
aunt may find it on. Go to the
Well,
desktop.
you can find it on your app and subscribe on iTunes and, of course, the YouTube channel, and you can watch the show there.
So we're gonna try to get to a point where we're either gonna record the shows and when. Let's say right now we record them on Thursday.
Yeah.
When can people expect to see the video once we're caught up?
I need to once we get caught up, probably in a day.
So
Because I got to
Friday night, maybe?
Yeah, because I would have to. Yeah, I have to
like
rewatch
this.
it,
Yep.
and pretty much, and
Okay.
so yeah, I got to factor that one in. So I would say the day after.
So someone had my Nellis is her name, had this motherfucker moment.
Oh,
Someone using an electric razor on the train platform. This motherfucker, kind of weird, but okay. Standing on the plane platform.
wow.
Yeah,
good.
fuck them.
Pretty good. We want to hear
Yeah.
more of your this motherfucker moments.
There was a
That's good.
girl on the plane.
No shoe. I
On
mean,
the
no
way
socks.
home.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. It was this chick who got on, and it's from Vegas to LA. It's general seating. You just get a boarding group and you come
Southwest,
on. You find a fucking
right.
you find a fucking seat. And this chick gets on late, and I was like, wow, she must be high or something, because she gets on, and I didn't see any earpieces, but she's like wildly laughing, and she's got like white fake nails like out to here, and she's wearing like a half shirt and really tight workout pants, but doesn't have the body that should be in those.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's laughing to herself, like, and everybody's looking at her, right? Like,
Right.
what the fuck is this chick on? and she sits. The seats in front of me on the other side. There's one in the middle open, and the poor guy who's reading some science magazine with round Coke bottle glasses, and she's like, "Can I get in?" Talks and she's talking really loud, and he's like, oh, "Okay." She gets in the seat. There's another guy on the other side, and she fucking zeroes in on this guy, and you could tell that this guy. I'm like, dude, don't engage with her. And he's like, hey. She's like, how you doing? And he's like, hey. And this girl talked. The flight isn't long, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I'm having flashbacks from that chick I said.
Yeah, she talked for 45 minutes straight, loud. And there's two women sitting next to me here, and they're like, and she's saying fucked up shit too to this guy. But you could tell I was almost more pissed at the guy. It was
He was engaging. He was enabling.
He thought he was getting fucking laid by this crazy chick when they get out. He exchanged numbers with her and everything. Did. And I'm like, dude, don't, you fucking moron. Don't talk to her, you know? And I could tell he wasn't used to talking to people of this caliber, you know what I mean? And he's trying to dig stuff out yeah, I produce music. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. I wanted to say, you don't, dude. You're fucking lying because you think that this weird, fucking over-the-top, slutty chick is going to fuck you after this flight. And she's not. Right. Believe me.
God.
And, so I'm having this, the kids fell asleep on the flight, on the way home. So, my son wakes up. We're, 10 minutes away from landing. And he looks over and he's like, what is that girl talking about? I'm like, I know, dude. Believe me, I've been awake this whole time. You're lucky you fell asleep. Try and go back to sleep. But I had this fucking cunt moment.
We gotta make a new one.
Yeah. And I was like, but it almost seemed like she had a mental issue.
Right.
How much she would not stop. There was no breaths in between, and she had that hood quality to her. And she said that word many times to this guy. Oh, Van Nuys, that's my hood, yo.
Boy.
And it was a white girl,
right.
you know, and those are my peeps, and da-da-da-da. Yo, I love you so much to the guy, and she's touching him and shit.
Sounds like a wigger.
It wasn't though. It was more of a Watino.
Right. Perfect.
It was more of a Watino vibe. That was
oh my
god.
Whatever.
Yeah,
fuck y'all.
Yeah, but you know what? It was just So I had that on the way home too.
Did you guys see the video of the dude punching the girl's
chair? Yeah.
So turn like this. So the chick was it was an American Airlines flight, and the chick reclined, right? And the guy behind her was doing this, Frank.
Over and over again.
20, 30 times.
And she just started filming him, and I was like, why didn't she turn around and fucking punch this guy in the face?
What
and the thing is that he's got a punchable face. Oh my god!
That was the argument online is he right or wrong? Right?
He's fucking wrong.
One is two reasons why he's wrong to me.
Because the seats recline on purpose.
Yeah, the seats recline. That's the thing. Now he's sitting in the last seat, I guess, so he couldn't.
Sorry,
sorry, you got the shit seat, buddy. But here's the other thing: if I'm in that seat,
better.
First of all, if I'm in that seat and the woman in front of me reclines and I can't, I'm not going to say anything because I'm asked out. That's just the way it is. Second of all,
we all draw the short straw sometimes.
And he also could have just said, hey, can you move your seat up a little bit? I can't recline back here, you know, and even if she said, oh, no, I'm sorry, you know, my back hurts and I got to lay down or I'm tired or whatever, you still got to accept that. But just the arrogant little fucking pain in the ass, puny fucking move of doing that pussy thing, are you fucking kidding me? I would have fucking turned around. I would have been like, dude, you touch that fucking chair one more time, I want to bash you in your fucking face.
I would have said that even if it wasn't my chair. Yeah. If I saw someone doing that, I'm intervening.
Those are the moments that I do watch online. I'm like, oh, I
want to be that guy.
I was there.
Do that in front of me.
Yeah. Do that to me, bro. Do
Yeah,
that
well,
to
that's
me.
the thing. He looks like the type of guy that if they had not been a woman, he wouldn't have done that.
No, that's what
you
I'm
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was the part
A
that for me was
coward, a
yeah,
pussy
yeah,
little
absolutely,
coward
absolutely.
bitch. And she complained to the stewardesses or the cabin crew,
Yeah.
and they did nothing.
The flying
Yeah.
waitresses,
Yeah.
what I call them.
And like people were saying, like, oh, they should have moved the guy, even if it's to business class. Like, put the chick in business class.
Yeah,
At this
yeah.
point,
Fucking bullshit. I had to
yeah,
kill
that
a
was
motherfucker.
nonsense.
I would have fucking stood on the back of the fucking seat with my knees on the headrest and fucking whipped out my dick and pissed in his fucking mouth.
Yep, he would have loved it.
Oh yeah,
Looking at his face, he would have loved nothing
Oh,
more.
yeah.
God, I hate that dude.
yeah, no, it's just awful.
That's all I got, guys. Anything else? Oh,
No.
we have one more question. I don't know if you guys watch this. Hi, y'all. This question is for Dan. I'm also a fan of Impractical Jokers. In your opinion, what was the funniest punishment and what was the cringiest punishment? For me, the funniest is a tie between the tattoo punishment when one of the guys. So, okay.
Nobody cares. Good night.
Have either of you watched the show?
No.
No.
Never seen
Never?
it once.
It is the best show on TV. It's the best. But at the end of the
It's
show,
not better than Parasite.
it is. If this could have won the Academy Award, it's a competition show between like four best friends, and at the end, some guy loses and they get the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the punishments, my favorite one was
When the guy pisses in the other guy's mouth.
no, a guy had to go host. He had to be like a teacher for a kids painting class with their parents and the kids. Obviously, the parents and the kids are not in on the prank.
Right.
So this guy he has an earpiece, and his friends tell him what to do. So these kids paint these. It's their first paintings, and they say to him, "Now go and put a huge red X on all of the kids' paintings."
Oh, is he like an earpiece
Yes.
in? Yeah.
And go tell them this is terrible. So this guy's like sweating. He's like, "I can't do this. Like their parents are right there," and he did it, and it's so hard to watch, but it's fucking hilarious. It's the best show ever. It really.
Ellen does it on her show all the time.
I really. Will you watch an episode?
Yeah, I have nothing against it. I just never seen it.
It would be your new Swamp People.
I'm sure. I don't. That's a.
Trust me.
That's a strong statement.
You'll thank me later. You too.
All right, I'll give it a watch.
They have. You can do it in Spanish subtitles if you
I
want.
did
sweet,
see
good.
that someone tweeted that they're now hooked on Swamp People, and like, I'd rather people watch that over Morning Sun.
It's amazing.
I think you can benefit more watching Swamp People.
You should go to that back to the hotel in Chicago and just watch Swamp People and do a Q&A.
Oh, dude, I
About how much you love
about
it.
How much I love it. Do you know that there's a? I might have to send this to you, and you might have to cut it into the show.
Okay.
There's a there's a specific shirt that the main guy wears on like every episode. Like they've made note of it in the show. In the new seasons, he doesn't wear it because it just got old.
This is the part where Frank overlays it in the video.
Yeah, exactly. And he, I gotta find it, but he wore the shirt in every single episode, and it's just like some weird blue and red striped polo shirt.
Yeah.
I found out the make of and the company of the shirt, and found one online.
Of course,
and they
you
don't
did.
make them anymore, so I had to buy like an old used one, and
Let's see this fucking
and I
thing.
wear it. I gotta find it. But talk amongst yourselves. I should actually tweet this picture out to the person who started watching it.
I need to watch Swamp People.
You gotta-
Clearly, I'm missing out on a lot.
Go to the beginning.
Impractical Jokers is better, I swear to
Really?
God. It's the only show on television where I can be completely not stoned and laughing my fucking ass
really?
off by myself.
That's great.
Well, you don't
By
watch.
myself.
You don't. I mean, there's some funny stuff, but you don't watch Swamp People for its humor.
No, I don't. But I'm saying
So
this
it's
is
in
how,
two
this
different.
is how
it's in
much.
two different
No,
categories.
I'm saying this is how much joy I get from Impractical Jokers,
Nice.
and Swamp People is just not on the same level. It's just not.
Yeah, it's in a completely higher level.
No, the opposite.
And fucking Cranky Anchors or whatever the fucking show you're talking
How
about.
dare you? It's called Impractical Jokers.
Uh,
Four lifelong friends who compete to embarrass each other.
But isn't that just every group of friends?
No.
Don't they all just do that anyway?
Well, just it's kind of like imagine you and 3 of your best friends when you were kids, like growing up and having a TV show where you just try to make the other guys embarrassed. It's genius.
Yeah, it's what we've been doing for the last fucking 13 years.
And it's great, right?
I don't know if I want to watch other people doing it.
You would. How's this fucking picture coming along, dude?
Because I'm trying to find it, man. I don't know where it is. I got to really look for it. It's not in.
Are you reading War and Peace online?
Oh, man.
All right, I will find it, though, and I will send it to you.
We're going to do
guys.
an overlay. Can you start doing overlays in the videos?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. This is going to be great. You
That
can
should be
put
no
that
problem.
punching video.
Oh,
Which
the
one?
punching video of the guy?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that should be one.
And I really want you to find actually, I have a request.
Mm-hmm.
When you show Tom Brady, when I'm telling the story,
Uh-huh.
can you please use the courtroom sketch that we talked about, the famous courtroom sketch?
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. Go, on your phone right now, go to Tom.
Wait, I'm looking for the Swamp
You're
People
never going to
shirt.
find it. Oh, can you look up Tom
Yeah,
Brady
I'm
courtroom sketch on your phone?
You're probably right. I'm never.
We talked about this picture before. Tom Brady was in court for something,
Right.
and the courtroom sketch
I
person
understand how
drew
courtroom
him.
sketches work.
and they drew it with their hand.
Okay.
Okay,
Instead of as opposed to drawing it with their feet.
correct. And it's the most.
Which one is it? There's 2 pretty bad ones up there, but
So this is what someone drew as Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, now I do remember.
So when I tell the
So
story,
that's the
please,
one.
yeah,
And
please,
we got to get like Jessica's drawing of you.
yes,
And go to that.
this is gonna be
first,
great.
and then
This is gonna be great.
we're gonna start
this
making.
is
me-
awful.
Are you in your camera roll?
Yeah, it's. I don't have it at just.
You never sent it to anybody?
Yeah, but I delete every message that I've ever sent. Is
You do?
deleted when I'm done.
Oh
Talking
my
in
god,
person.
I save almost every one of them.
No, it's just there's too much on my phone. Then you know what I mean. Ah, here it is.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It really is the same shirt.
It's this.
Holy
No, it's
cow.
the same exact. It might even be his.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
And I know that material, so it's such an 80s, 90s.
And it's actually great.
Like, this is when I was a kid, this is what I would wear for picture day. That'd be like my fancy shirt.
It's a bad picture too because I have the hat that he's wearing also now. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
gotta
we're
update it.
Send that to. I'm gonna send it now, but so you don't lose it. And
I always do this.
just show it to the dumb thing. See if it works.
Here's the overlay.
Oh, very smooth. All right, Frank. One more time. Where can people find us?
At twitter.com/Rareform Radio, Instagram, Rareform Radio. Subscribe on iTunes and YouTube now. Leave us reviews. Tell us what you like about the show and all that good stuff, and you might be given a shout out on air.
And seriously, we're working on T-shirts. We got some cool
I
ideas.
think we should just sell those.
I was gonna
shirts.
say,
That's
yeah,
a funny idea.
Just put Rare Form Radio RFR as
Well,
the
like
logo.
gaff
that
tape.
would be great.
All right,
right.
We'll be back in 3 days.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, you're gonna. You're gonna. Thank you, Todd Newman.
I have nothing else to add to this show.
But you're gonna be out and about, living in the world, and you're gonna have some experiences.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure.
gonna
You're
be
right. Okay.
full 3 days for bad things
Point
to happen.
taken. Point taken. Thank you so much, Dan.
Yep. Thank you,
Thank you,
Todd.
Yep,
Frank.
thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you in a couple days.
This is Lola, and I'm here to tell the world to stop being such pussies and listen to Rare Form Radio.